G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new patch with two very high level players taking it on in a 1v1 situation. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the southeast side of the, southeast side. We got it right. Southeast side of the map in the color blue, playing as the Order of the Dragon, representing Team Mayan Sanity. It's Anatand. And on the northwest side of the map in the color purple, playing as the French, representing Team Liquid, it's Demu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hill and Dale. What a beautiful map this is. I love this map. I miss this map so much, and I guess that's probably because I'm a Chinese main. I love playing on maps like this just because it's so easy to close off my base and say, hey, I'll see you in the Imperial Age. There's been a couple changes to this map in the last couple of years, though, that kind of stopped that from happening. A lot less resources in the base. But look, speaking of resources in the base, Anatand already starts us off with a double farm opening. Interesting positioning on these farms as well. I'm kind of curious whether he's going to be going into his Archon Chapel, whether he's going to be thinking about the mine work. But I don't really see... I mean, realistically, you could probably put your Archon down right here, but he's going to drop a house down. Hold on. He cancels the house. Does he put it up here instead? I think he might be going for an Archon here. Now, there's a big change that we're going to be looking out for today for the Order of the Dragon. Now, it's not going to be huge. You're not going to be writing home to mum about it. But it still is something that may, well, it might bring along the pacing of the Order of the Dragon. And that is, of course, the villager train time. Villagers, instead of taking 24 seconds, now take 23 seconds. So that means... over the course of the game, so at this point in the game, you've got 9 vills that are out for our Order of the Dragon player. I think you start with, 4, maybe 5, somewhere in that region. So already you're talking about 5 vills, so that 5th villager is out 5 seconds faster than what it previously would have been. And that starts to add up over the course of the game. On top of that, it also means that you're just going to be picking up more and more resources from each of your subsequent vills for longer. So that's really cool. On the other side of the map, though, let's take a look at how Demu is doing, because as you'll notice, he's already got wheelbarrow on the way. Survival techniques was already researched early on. Is there the chance that we see a Chamber of Commerce placed down today? If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be out over here for sure. Keep in mind, he does actually see where the trade post is, and we can click on the trade post through the fog of war. How great is that? I would probably be putting it somewhere over here. He could look to walk vills as well. But I guess in this matchup, going for the School of Cavalry does make sense. It's gonna be it, baby! We see it. The Chamber of Commerce is down, ladies and gentlemen. So this landmark has been buffed in the most recent patch. Previously, the way that it works... well, let me just explain how it works first and foremost. Every tech you research, you get a trader. You research survival techniques. Congratulations, that's a trader. You get a wheelbarrow. Congratulations, that's a trader. You get specialized pick. That's a trader. Trader. Well, calm down, Drongo. That's a trader. You get your, you put down a lumber camp and you get your forestry technology. That is also a trader. The only difference is that it used to take 30 seconds to get those traders, and they would come for free. Now, it's 15 seconds. So it is a really, really nice early game buff. It just means your traders are going to be coming out onto the map sooner. You're going to be feeling that gold income a little bit sooner. And he's got a couple of options as how he plays it. You'd naturally be thinking towards his top side. Would that make the most sense? We could look to potentially see it come to the bottom side as well. We already see the Vil going to be moving out, looking to get that wall off. But Anatand reaching the feudal age, the Archon Chapel, as we suspected, would be coming down on this bottom side. Ideally, you want to be moving these deer into the Archon Chapel, just making sure that they've got that bonus over the top, because it is quite a decent bonus, 15%. It is definitely nothing to sneeze at. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but there you go. Stable going to be coming down here for Anatand. Now, when it comes to Anatand's scout, he's already spotted out the French base, so I suspect he knows about the Chamber of Commerce. Can I just say, oh man, I don't want to complain, but I just want to say, because, it's been another big patch that's dropped recently, and, we don't see it, but it's just like, it's the little things. I just wish I could know, does he know about the landmark? Like, why can't it just keep that in the fog of war memory? Like, why do I have to just question as to where the resources are in the enemy base? Why do I have to question as to, like, I just hate it, man. I just still don't know. And this game's been out for so long, man. Like, we're going on, what, 4 years now? 3 years? Somewhere in that region? It's a long time. Spectator mode. Spectator mode, hey? Eternally forgotten. But, you know, maybe one day the devs will realize that the majority of content that people consume is actually done through the spectator mode. Look, until that day, I guess we'll deal with suboptimal spectator mode. Market comes down in the corner, no real surprise there. Traders will be looking to change their direction once they hit this corner, of course. It looks like Scout's going to be moving out with the stable coming up. It's going to be a double stable opening. He's got no real info about what Anatan is up to. You can see him making his way towards the top, but naturally he wants to defend his trade post. So he's going to need to be thinking about, okay, what's the best unit for me for defending my trade? It's going to be cavalry. He moves into immediately. We see the double Royal Knight in queue straight away, but at first, Gilded Horseman coming out here, and you can see that Demu does the right thing, falls back away from that position, and Atand looking for any kind of trader, doesn't see anything just yet. Scout coming back to base, 8 sheep behind it as well. Nice little build beginning to happen. Is he looking for a quick Castle Age? I think he might be looking for a quick little Castle Age after this. Second Gilded Horseman going to be coming out, and you can see he's rallied it towards the corner, but naturally the Scout, or rather the Horseman, is going to find its way through the correct way. But have a look at this. Yeah, we've got walls coming up all over that region. Royal Knight's now going to be coming out to meet the trader, hoping that it stays alive, but the wolf gets the kill. Do you see that? Also got the Royal Knight now coming in, gets the big charge off. Scout going to be in here as well. Second trader might get picked off. 69 gold in that bad boy. Second Horseman on that south side is coming through. Second trader does go down. Oh, this could be a third trader. This is already a difficult start here for Demu, as he is getting picked apart by the Gilded Horseman. Keep in mind, these guys have got a lot of movement speed, so he'll be able to get out of here and come back as long as he keeps it alive. 3 health on that Gilded Horseman. Meanwhile, towards that south side, it looks like the Gilded Horseman from Anatan will be trying to find its way out. Nothing just yet. He's got a little bit of a patrol set up here. Does Demu know about this? I don't think he does know. Hasn't got 100% confirmation on it just yet. Now starting to wall up towards the front of the base as well. Finding a nice little collection of wood lines to start dotting his way around. Order of the Dragon. We'll check in with Anatan and see how he's doing, as the age up is slowly but steadily getting closer. You can see he's only a couple hundred food off it. Rax is going to come up as well. I suspect this is most likely going to be for our Spearmen to deal with those Royal Knights. Look at this cheeky little Scout out here. Forces back the Scout. Ville's going to drop down that palisade wall. He should be fine. Meanwhile, behind enemy lines, the Horseman still does chill out, and Demu's got no idea about this. So, traders are still coming out. Now, interesting to note, the traders that come out for free, they're the ones that only take 15 seconds. The ones that are paid, the paid actors, the paid traders, they are 60, 60, 30. So, still 30 seconds. Don't get any buff on that. It's only on the free traders. But Ville going to be going down. Anatan going to be losing one of his owners. The Burgrave comes in. We're seeing buffed landmarks all around. Scout might be going down. Indeed it does. Royal Knight also going to be losing its life. And have a look at that control as the Spearman manages to get itself out. Beautiful control this game by Anatan. I think he's kept... Where's that that other Gilded Horseman? The Gilded Horseman, I think... Oh, it's a... Don't tell me it's coming. It's coming back towards the top side. This is a full health Gilded Horseman though. So... I don't know, that other Gilded Horseman, never mind, there it is, 3 health at the back of the base, ushering in a couple deer. Takes down another trader, and the Gilded Horseman makes its way out, 29 health, just incredible control. Still, I don't think we've seen any traders. Down towards this angle, there we go. Demu now going to be realizing that there is a unit behind enemy lines. Royal Knight's going to be making their way across, and I think it's just a case of like, I don't even know how to address this issue, right? Like, you got units out very quickly, and they're mobile units, so I don't really know the answer to this. How do you deal with the Gilded Horseman? Well, spears aren't going to do it. I guess, do you avoid getting the traders out until the wall is complete? Like, I think getting the walls up very early is probably a good thing. Like, maybe go for a little bit closer as well. Like, maybe wall from here to here, and then wall across to here, then like that. So you try and keep things a little bit closer. I really don't know the answer, though. This is a tough question. And then at least that way, and like maybe even walling this off completely, and then that just guarantees that you've got a safe zone behind these walls. Maybe that's the play. I don't know, though. Trade is definitely one of those things that is still a little bit tough to crack, but have a look at this. Hardened Gilded Spearmen making their way out. So we've got a Burgrave opening. Now, I think the big question for Anatand here is, does he look to play this out in the Castle Age, or does he make a play at Imperial? Personally, I love Imperial. I feel like when you've got such a strong Imperial Age landmark in the Palace of Swabia, you're crazy not to rush that landmark. It is so damn good, but the question will be about whether he thinks he can find space to do that up against the French, especially considering they're on 1 TC still, even though he does have trade that he's trying to get online. It is something that you need to be careful of, because if we see a big push coming out, maybe some arbaletier, maybe some horsemen coming out, it could be difficult to deal with. But Gilded Horseman makes its way out. We do see Spearmen looking to try and pick it up. Veterancy coming through. Also got double broadaxe on the way, and you can see the Horsemen rallying directly towards it. Demu about to spot those Spearmen out, but manages to see it just in time. Guild Hall now online. Beautiful landmark as well. Look at those little gardens around it. Is it a garden? Yeah, I think you could call this a garden. It looks like probably it's a bit more of like a farm. What do you reckon they're farming in there? Definitely lavender over this side. I'm gonna go with potatoes, maybe? Potatoes? Maybe. Yeah, we'll go with potatoes. I'll be honest. I don't know too much about potatoes. I had a friend who once told me the trick with potatoes is you put them in the ground and you dig them up, and then you pull them apart, so it's like you have half a potato and then another half of a potato, and you put them back in the ground, and then you come back in like 3 months, and now you have 2 potatoes, and you just keep doing that, and your potatoes just keep doubling every 3 months. And I was like, that sounds like Ponzi potatoes, but I'll take it. Meanwhile, numbers are starting to look good here for Anatan. He's securing up relics behind this. We've seen 2 relics now in his possession. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Demu obviously not too focused on relics. He's got bigger fish to fry, that being the inevitable trade he's hoping for. Stone walls coming up on the south side. You can see how much he's scrambling to get a defense in for himself here. Trader stays alive. Veteran, Gilded Spearman, going to be caught out of position, lives with 1 health. I tell you what, man, this guy is incredible when it comes to keeping these units alive. Even though they're only on like a tiny little bit of health, they somehow all managed to survive. Didn't look like he pushed the deer in towards that Archon Chapel either. Just going to throw down the mill, keep it simple, stupid. I like it. Now, the push is starting to come to shove, though. Have a look at the amount of units that we're... I think that could be Imperial. I think we could have ourselves a bit of Imperial. I like the fact that he's getting out onto the map and that he's putting so much pressure on here. But trade is always one of those things that is a ticking time bomb, right? Like, you got to be so careful when you're playing up against an opponent who is trading. Unless you've got a way that you can keep yourself in the game, trade is one of those things you have to shut down. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, if you're playing as China, you can do a 2 TC Song Dynasty boom. And you're still probably going to struggle, but it is a way to mitigate that trade disaster on the enemy's front. When it comes to Anatan, what's the way that he's going to be dealing with the trade that's coming out? Well, obviously, he's put on early pressure. He's definitely kept the trade numbers down. If we ride on board with Demu and check the trade numbers, he's on 3 traders, which isn't that good. In fact, he's dropped a second town center because he said, you know what, that whole trade thing didn't go that well. He's got 69 gold coming in for each of the traders, but not a lot of free traders remain. Meanwhile, oh my god, 4 Royal Knights get caught out of position. Obviously, Demo a little bit distracted, so was I. Very, very difficult to witness. Looks like 4 relics picked up at the moment for Anatant. But of course, just to finish that earlier statement, Anatant looks to be going to Imperial Age, which is how he's also going to be cancelling that out. And I think Demu's probably realized that and said, okay, you know what? He's going to go Imp soon. I think I've probably just got a match with my own second town center, just because with Imp, you're naturally going to be going into Swabia. So he wants to try and find a counter to that. But have a look at this. Oh, these spearmen just won't stop, dude. Somebody please help me. 1.56 movement speed there on the charge, you can see. They do look to try and come around, stay alive. Town Center gonna get a few arrows down here. You can see one of the Royal Knights is quite low, 12 health. And there's the Swabia coming in. This is gonna get spotted by Demu on the offensive. He sees it, he knows that the Vils are there, but he also knows there's nothing he can really do about it. Manages to come through, hits a charge, gets a kill on one of the Vils. Spearman split. Do we see it just yet? He might need to pull these Vils back. No, not going to bother. Swabi is now coming up, and Demu's made the right call going into that second TC. In this position, Demu can actually... Oh, I thought that was a red palace, dude. I thought it was a red palace. Demu can actually go into a third TC here. I would not be adverse to that. But it's another thing important to note is that in Demu's position, he's got that French bonus where he's getting the faster Vils being trained anyway. So he's not really on 2 TCs. It's more something like about 2.3 TCs, somewhere in that region. And still we see, how did these guys get through? Oh, the wall's broken, the palisade wall. And now you can see the importance of getting up these little segregation bits in here, just to segregate the base out and make sure that you don't have these run-bys. They're so frustrating to deal with, and it's just one of those things. Whenever you're up against cavalry, it's going to happen. You can see beautiful control coming out here. Relic does get pulled away, so Demo going to be at least able to mitigate one of the relics from his opponent. 3 obviously still in the back pocket. More spears looking to break through that front side. Vils coming out onto the stone on the south. You want to hope he throws or gets a gate in here shortly, just to make sure that nothing too crazy goes awry down there. Meanwhile, more Royal Knights coming out. Let's ride on board with the Swabia as the printer is now online. The new Order of the Dragon. It's looking pretty good here, but I'm going to just compliment Enatan and say I think he played the early game really well. The focus was heavily on the enemy traders, and you keep the trader number down, you're going to be feeling good about yourself, and I think that's very much the case here. Enatan bought himself time. Now, it's also important to note, don't be alarmed by the Vil count. Remember, these are Order of the Dragon Vils, slightly beefier, slightly better than your standard French villager. Let's do a quick income check here. 16 minutes through the game as more Royal Knights make their way onto the wood line. There's plenty of spears back here, though. Look at this. How many spears are actually back here? This is crazy. But the walls are finally up. So for income per minute, let's take a look and see. So for Enatan, 1,600, 2K, 2.6K, 2.7K roughly if we round it up. And then on the side of Demo, 900, 1,200. That is a lot of stone. 2,300, 2,500. So pretty similar numbers there when it comes to these two with regard to their gathering. I think the relic's definitely making up a fair bit there for Enatan. But finally a little bit more walling coming in on the backside. Definitely like seeing this. Keeps these Vils guaranteed to be safe. There's plenty of resources back here as well, so they don't need to go anywhere. But another keep now going to be coming up here for Demu. This is going to be the second keep of the game. Keep in mind, he's already got that first one back at home, empowering these military production facilities around him, reducing the costs of his Royal Knights, of his Arbitrio. So that's always lovely to see. But the Arbitrio mass is building here. Keep in mind, these guys do have a base of 5 range, but it does go up to 6 range when they deploy their Pavis. So hopefully we start to see a little bit more of that. You'll be going up against the Order of the Dragon, which also have some pretty beefy crossbows. At the moment, though, the main focus is going to be on melee infantry. Of course, when it comes to the Order of the Dragon, that Burgrave Palace is going to be giving them a nice little discount. So we do start to see, you can see, the Gilded Lunch Connector is making its arrival on the field. Already 5 of them out on the field. That's going to be the 6th one that joins. Got some beautiful little uniforms. No red uniforms today, so no Ronald McDonald for you guys. I know you love to see it, but unfortunately not today. No Ronald for us. 3rd TC also going to be coming up for Demo in the north of the map. Definitely the right call here. I think this is a smart move, and I'm glad that he went for it. This is just going to guarantee his economy in the late game. The biggest thing he's going to struggle with, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but it's just his population efficiency, I think, is going to be the hardest thing. But take a look at this. 3rd keep now out on the gold, very far out. Vil's getting trampled. Red Palace going to be coming through as well in the north of the map. Definitely the right call. Love this spot here for Demo. But Vils jump inside the keep. He's got 15 in here. They're looking just to burn it down, and I think he might actually find it. If the Red Palace comes online, he'll get the Red Palace emplacement. And that will do a lot of damage to these units. It will significantly, it will pretty much double the damage output from these units. Meanwhile, behind on the back, and you can see he's actually going to start rushing up the Red Palace, brought a few more Vils over towards it, because I think he realizes that Vil's now going to have a bit of a repair off, jumps back inside exactly what he needs to keep this alive. Red Palace almost online. As long as he can get it there, then he's going to be fine. Have a look at the damage that's done. It is an absolute crime. 42 damage for that Arbalest emplacement. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? There we go. With that coming online, you can see that Enatan is going to have to fall back. A lot of wasted units, a lot of wasted resources there. But Demu keeps himself alive. Probably just want to leave 1 or 2 Vils. Yeah, look at this. 1 or 2 Vils here repairing. He's done it. He knows what he's doing. This guy's an absolute... Never mind. He's still an absolute pro. Don't worry, don't worry. All right. Well, let's check in on the north side of the map. see how Demu is doing. All quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. Still massing up Abbasid. I like this strategy that he's gone for, though, where he's going for quite a few keeps. So the keeps together with the Abbasid or the Obelisk emplacement are really potent. But it's kind of interesting how he's playing it so defensively. There's not a lot of units out here, but there's not really a lot of places to attack. You're obviously not going to be attacking down here. You probably want to avoid this keep. I suspect the reason why he's probably not repairing it is because he knows that bombards are going to be on the way. And so naturally he says, well, what's the point in even going for it? Now, the emplacement does have a range of 9.5 tiles, the Obelisk emplacement, whereas the bombard has a range of 10. So as long as you've got line of sight, you can see that we've got the bombard now marching out. Smart move there. Smart move, because you're not going to out heal the bombard. It's just not going to happen. He's going to bring more vills. He's going to try and keep it alive. How much stone has he got? He's got a fair bit of stone here. All right, he's looking to try and keep it alive. Gilded Horsemen might run underneath and see if they can find any kills here. May have to pull more vills. Second bombard not yet out, but I really kind of wonder what the end game here is for Demu, in the sense that, well, let's just say you keep this alive. You're just kind of draining stone. Spear's now going to run underneath. Is he looking for a bit of a bait here? Is that what we're going to get? He's also going to be running units up. Forgot to actually seal up this passageway, or either that or he just managed to lose all of the palisade walls as we just had a look for it. Meanwhile, where's the gate? He's got a gate up towards his top side. He's just going to evacuate the dance floor. He realizes that there is too many units infecting him with the sound. But now, horseman numbers looking particularly fearsome and potent. Anatan with a very high military pop still at the moment. Only 19. He hasn't made military in a long time. Damn it, what is going on, my friend? No elite upgrades on the Abbasid just yet either. He's going into elite knights. But the Abbasid, obviously, when they pop down their Pavis shield, they get a nice little bit of range. But they don't get any bonus damage against these horsemen. Horsemen breaking their way through now. Elite upgrades finally coming through for the Royal Knights. Now we see elite Abbasid. Now we see incendiary arrows. He's looking to try and pick up a couple more of those upgrades. Horsemen running through this base, rampaging through this base as the Vils try their best to keep it alive. Demu Vil count now outnumbered by Anatan, and this is the problem that we've got. The Swabia has well and truly come online. This bad boy, this is the story of the Order of the Dragon. Part of the reason why it is so strong now is because of that early game. You can get to the late game a little bit easier, a little bit earlier, a little bit safer than what you could before. And when you do get there, that Vil count, it's going to be rising up more quickly because your Vils don't train as long as they used to. Looking for more and more upgrades. We see crossbow stirrups also going to be coming through and giving them a little bit of an attack speed boost. Anatan mining out the map slowly. 187 pop versus 143 pop. The power of the Swabia is well and truly online. Order of the Dragon looking very comfortable in this game. You know, you got to be a ballsy person if you say to yourself, I think we should try and take on Order of the Dragon in the Imperial Age. That is a very bold thing to do because they've just got so much in the potential back pocket. You know, realistically, hand cannoneer, lance connector, very, very scary. And we start to see those hand cannoneers coming out now. He's got one on the field. The big thing here is the attack speed of the hand cannoneer. It's not the damage, it's the attack speed that they get. The horsemen now going to be running through once again. You know, we've already talked about that palisade wall coming through, getting a little bit of segmentation or segregation in the base. What's the term? Compartmentalization. That's the one I'm thinking of. We want to compartmentalize our base. Try and make sure that our enemy can't run through in all those little spots. Nice combo starting to come out from Demu, though. Elite Royal Knights. No Royal Bloodlines just yet. Abbasid over on that west side managed to find the bombard with the Royal Knights, getting torn apart by the horsemen, though. Gilded Horsemen. You can see the explosive damage right there from the Abbasid with their incendiary arrows. I tell you what, it looked like AoE damage. God, did they change that? Dude, I think they changed it. Look at, like, they explode now. It's like they're using incendiary rounds when they fire. And I feel like there's a bit of a sound. There was never that sound before, was there? Am I going crazy? I think they actually changed that. It was like a little... You could hear it, man. That was cool. That was really, really cool. And it feels like they added a new effect as well. Like, there was always an effect when the arrow was flying through the air, but I don't ever recall seeing an effect when the arrow actually hit the enemy. Now it's like there's an actual explosion. That's really, really cool. Please comment if I'm wrong. I like to see it when I'm wrong. Not really. I like to be right. We all like to be right, but, you know, let me know if things aren't right. Thank you. Cannon emplacement. Cannon emplacement's on the way. Am I going crazy? Have people always been burning? Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe people have always burned. Maybe the Arbitrar with its upgrades have always made people burn. Demo slowly racing towards that 200 population. Slowly racing. There you go, slowly racing. Nice little bit of a... I don't even know what it is. It's the one where it doesn't make sense. Quickly racing would make sense, but slowly racing. I mean, you can slowly race, right? Like a turtle slowly races towards the finish line. So get out of here. Get off it. I'm right. You're right. Sorry, I'm inspired by Trump a little bit tonight. I've been watching too much American politics. Elite Spears. Looking to defend. Able to hold the line. You gotta be careful. There's Lanch Connector mixed in here. You guys can see him. I can see him as well. Those are the guys you really gotta be fearful of. But now Arbitrar numbers starting to look really good here. Really healthy. Culverin Bombard on the backside. Making their way in as well. Those walls are going to be very quickly taken down. Horsemen now from the back. Numbers are looking decent here for Demu on the defense. He's slowly but steadily whittling down the enemy army, but the Horseman numbers now running through might be enough to actually turn the battle. Keep in mind the cannon emplacement's been firing this entire time. Demu on that north side is struggling. The keeps are starting to come online. Cannon emplacement's going to be working down the vills on the gold. And if you lose the gold, you lose the game. These guys have got their upgrades, so they've got plenty of health. The problem is, I don't know if you're going to have enough health to actually get through all of this gold. He's down to 1,300, but where does he go after this? All the vills are evacuated. He's lost this gold. He's lost this gold. There's clearly no chance of him getting these 2 golds. This could be game... Oh, he doesn't need it. Oh, and he's got the unique upgrade. Active traders generate 1 gold every 6 seconds. This is from the Merchant Guild? What's from the, where is it even from? I guess from the market it probably comes? If I had to guess, I would say it probably comes from the market. Okay. Well, here I was counting him out like, you know what? He's got no gold. He's got no chance. Not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. Not so fast. The man is still in it. Interesting combo. I mean, he's going into a very gold-heavy combo. Hand Cannoneers together with Royal Knights. But I guess realistically, when you've got trade like this, you do have infinite gold. And as long as he retains this line of traders, he should be okay. As long as he's not overrun in the short term. That's what I'm fearful of, because Anatand has looked very, very strong throughout this game. The Order of the Dragon have done very well. They've set up their economy perfectly. The Swabia has just paid off. And this is now the stage of the game where we reach that point where the Order of the Dragon have got population efficiency. What do I mean by this? 111 villages that are much more efficient than your standard villages. Villages that gather much faster than the normal villager. So there's no way for us to check the gather rate, but I can assure you the gather rate for this villager is significantly greater than of Demu's villager, and that is because they are gilded dragon villagers, whereas Demu's just got average normal villagers. So that's one thing to note. So now you can consider that as sort of like a population space boost, because Anatan will be able to retain the same economy as Demu despite having 20 less villages. There's also other factors as well, like sacred sites, relics that are now in play, but the big one is going to be those dragon villages, or those gilded villages as the bombards begin to move forward. We've still got our alien technology here unloading on the enemy. We enter into the cinematic mode as it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to absolutely get into it. Get down and get dirty. Hand Cannoneers firing off. Look at the heroes on the back line. Just taking out all of those enemy elite Royal Knights. They've got their Royal Bloodline upgrade. A couple of Prelates in the mix as well. Looking to try and heal it up. But the defense is looking solid at this stage of the game. I don't know if any run-bys have happened, but have a look at this. He's shutting it down completely. The fallback now going to have to happen. Outpost numbers are beginning to rise on the defensive. Bill's also going to get pulled here. Looking to siege down the bombards on the front. You got to be careful. You got to be so careful of the cannon emplacements. One cannon emplacement comes in here, takes out all of these villagers in that blink of an eye, maybe two or so. But all the villas have gone down. Two bombards have gone. He had a fair few villagers on that backside as well. He's down to 109 now, so manages to even it up a little bit, but lost a lot there. I think that's probably close to 20, 30 vils that he lost. Maybe, I'll go with like 25 vils in that picture. But now, the Gilded Hand Cannoneers, this is where they excel. Kiting like this. They are up against the Abbasid trio, which do have a little bit more range on them as well. 6 tiles of range, so something really, really nice to be playing with once they've got that Pavis shield deployed. But of course, the big problem that you're going to have are these. How do you deal with these? Now you can get your cannon out and try and knock them out, but you're going to be up against the culverin. So definitely want to try and get on the aggressive here. But I honestly think the cannon emplacements are what are winning this. These are like the silent killers. Even though you hear them, you don't notice them. You're fighting and you see the enemy units, and it's all about killing the enemy units. And you don't realize the entire time you've got these damn cannon emplacements that are just killing your units, and they're doing that AoE damage and pushing you back constantly. You can see the range on these things. They don't have any relics in them, fortunately. But, geez, this is not an easy spot. And have a look at this. 2,700 gold in the bank here. I think, yeah, Demu's just taken it out. We don't see how much gold he's got, but it was probably a little bit north of 3k. We can say that much. Putting the Siege Workshop down on the front. Very bold here of Demu. Normally, you want to try and put this one in the back of the base so that you can get your Springalds or your Culverin or whatever it is that you want to get and make sure that it comes out alive. You can see the second Siege Workshop's going to come down here. Trade numbers starting to look a little bit healthier. Up to 37 traders now in the back of the base. Demu holding on for dear life here. Going to be fighting into the cannon emplacements of the Order of the Dragon. This is the Giga Chad late game. Like, think about it right now. You've got a civilization that has got way more population space for military than anybody else because their villages are so much more efficient. On top of that, you're now starting to put more outposts on the front with 3k health, by the way, and emplacements. So you've got these buildings that don't cost any population whatsoever. Horsemen together with the Royal Knights making their way forward. A couple of elite Gilded Spearmen on the backside as well. Triple bombard, trying their best to defend. Meanwhile, the cannon emplacements continue to fire off towards that backline. Hand cannoneers together with the unique crossbows, the Abbasid trio, doing their best. All of the elite Gilded, or rather all of the elite Royal Knights have gone down, and look at the defense. Look at the defense coming through from Anatan. Culverin together with the bombards, all still alive, all still able to thrive here underneath these outposts. He baits it forward. He's trying to focus them down. Not going to be able to find it. Culverin lives to see another day, and you can just see the damage that is done. Beautiful display from Anatan there about finishing off the game. You don't need to do it with rams. You don't need to do it with bombards. You can do it with cannon emplacements. But speaking of cannons, on the north side of the map. Now, for the French, it is the brand new cannon that can no longer shoot at its own buildings, but he's going to have a little bit of trouble here. There are a lot of enemy units out. He gets the shot off. You can see he's trying his best to actually hit the trick shot here, the 360. No scope. Manages to find the kill on the Culverin. Bombard's going to look to focus down the keep. A couple of Royal Knights might find their way onto the backline. Hand Cannoneer is going to be looking to cover, trying his best to get there. Decent coverage. Attack speed is coming through. He's also got the buffs coming up from the inspiration. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Anatan finishing off the game there as Demu taps out and says, you know what? I just can't do it anymore. Incredible game coming out from 2 top 10 players. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave links in the description to where you can go and watch them live. Both of them available on Twitch. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.